I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Fury fam, everybody out there, Miami Dolphins, YouTube Nation, what's good, man? Welcome to another edition of LG Shaking the Panel. Unfortunately, G ain't going to be with us tonight. He's got work. But listen, we got a lot going on, man. It's that transitionary period. It's that transitionary week. This is when we go from all the preseason and off-season talk and all the kind of keep ourselves occupied because football season's coming at some point and we can't get enough because we're Phin-Addicts. We're addicted to the Fins. We're addicted to football. And when we start transitioning into a realm where the season's coming, we are going to start talking real football, man. We're not going to be speculating anymore. We are going to be talking about games. We are going to be talking about the roster. We are going to be talking about injuries. We are going to be talking, hopefully, about a good record. We are hopefully going to be talking about a Miami Dolphins playoff run. Raf, what up, bro? Let's go. Fins up. Let's go. This is the transitionary episode. And by the way, Fury fam, we may partner. YouTube, this channel, Phin-Addict Fury, is now a partner with YouTube. So we got a lot of things coming on the horizon and a lot of things that we can do that are going to be available, which I haven't really even played with yet, to be real with you. Like we have things we can do that I haven't even played with yet. So we're going to be playing around with them a little bit and seeing what we could do. That all being said, and I'll get that ready for next week's show. That all being said, let's talk about what we saw with these cuts, man, and with this roster, man. I'm excited about the running back room. I thought, Sony Michel, when we signed him, I thought he was definitely going to make the roster, and he didn't. But quite frankly, I'm really happy with the running back room that we have. I'm happy that I thought Gaskin was always a hard runner. I always liked the kid. I thought he always had good potential as a role player. I mean, a lot of people saw him not as a starter, and I 100% understand that he's not necessarily what we would call a starter. But nonetheless, I think he showed a lot of heart, especially in that last game. I think he's done some good things for us. I think he's a good player. And by the way, Ahmed, I like Ahmed too, man. I mean, I think I've always kind of liked him as that backup role, as that change of pace guy, and I'm happy he made it. So even though some might be a little bit surprised that it was Ahmed and Gaskin to fill out and round out that running back room, I kind of like it, man. I think Edmonds is going to be the starter. I think Mostert's going to come in. But I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Gaskin. I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Ahmed, and I'm down with that. Easy made the cut with the wideouts. You got Cedric Wilson. You obviously got Waddle and Hill. You know how we're going to do with that whole thing. And I thought Sherfield, I thought he was a good player. I liked what I saw. And I'm glad that he's on the team. What I'm, still kind of interested in, I didn't think Kindley was the best player ever. I know he was out of shape, but I'm kind of a little bit surprised that they cut Kindley. And I'm still not sold on Jackson, although we did have Mounty on here the other day. He did say, look, our O-line coach is much improved by all indications that he's hearing. And some other folks did lay out that, Austin Jackson is improving. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm still a little wary of the Austin Jackson experiment. It looks like he's going to be our starting tackle. But we'll see how that kind of plays out. And Bleezy, what's good, bro? How you doing, man? How you doing, Clemente, man? Raf, Cap, what's good, man? We're going to all get up on this channel, on this panel in a few. Once I bring Shake on, we do our little thing, man. Fins up 74. What's up, man? Thanks for showing love. Look, so we are excited. And by the way, when you drop comments, man, sometimes I'll highlight them up here on the screen. We're going to start doing that. You're going to be able to drop donations soon. I haven't set it up yet, but we got the partnership. So things are going to take off now and things are going to get a lot bigger. Another thing that's obviously we all know that we're kind of going to have to just deal with, and there's really no way out of it, is the fact that, Byron Jones is out. So we were hoping that Byron Jones, and I was definitely hoping, to be honest with you guys, I was really hoping that Byron Jones would, be back before the start of the regular season, but it looks like he will not be back for the start of the regular season. He's going to start the regular season on the PUP, the physically unable to perform list, which means he's out for at least 4 games. And we're going to see how that turns out for us. Now, I'm surprised. I got to be honest. I'm surprised that Iggy made the damn team. Igbenogany made the team. I told you guys I would be very surprised if he made the team. He looked like he was still getting burned in preseason. Yet, here we go again. Iggy's on the team, and we're starting the season without Byron Jones. So I don't know if Iggy being on the team is because of Byron Jones. I would think not. We got some other defensive backs on the roster. I don't know, so Needham is probably, I would guess, is still going to start at the slot. The way the league is these days, you got 3 wideouts at least. Most times the offense is lining up against you. I would think that Needham's still going to play the slot. So who fills Jones's spot week 1? And what's scary for us is that the first 4 weeks of the season are some of the most treacherous games on the schedule. So I'm a little bit nervous, just a little bit nervous about going into the season without Byron and Iggy making a team. Like, are we gonna rock out with Iggy? Like, what do we as fans not know that the coaches know? That Noah Igbenogany, I'm sure he's a great person, but from what we've seen in actual game action and the preseason and by all other accounts, I haven't seen anything that makes me think Noah Igbenogany is still somebody who should be on the team or that he's made these kind of strides. So I'm praying that the coaches see something we don't. Maybe he's a very integral special teams player. But I'm hoping that there's something more to it, because the one thing I can say, looking at this roster, looking at this depth chart, the one thing that I see that raises some flags for me, the one thing I'm a little bit nervous about is the secondary without Jones, and then you bring in Austin Jackson. I'm a little bit nervous about too. We will see how those things play out. I'm hoping that we can bide our time and at least go 500 through those first 4 games, even without Byron Jones. But I'm hoping that this offense can keep up with any offense in the league. So unlike last year and the year before that, where, when the defense couldn't hold the other team below 20, we really struggled to be competitive. I think this year you're definitely going to see, us be able to keep pace with these teams. So I'm hoping that our offensive firepower can kind of make up for whatever we might lose not having Byron Jones in there the first 4 games. But that remains to be seen. Just the Fins, what up, man? What up? And by the way, guys, if you haven't smashed subscribe on this channel yet, we just made partner. Fury Fam is strong. We are going to have so much content, so many things going on throughout the season. We're not just going to be doing this live show Wednesdays. We're going to continue to do this live show Wednesdays. But we're going to continue to do other things, too. Smash that subscribe button if you have not already. Please just take 2 seconds and smash that subscribe button. And if you haven't hit like on this video yet, smash that like button. We are trying to kind of get up into that second tier of content creators here. We are just trying to provide yet another Miami Dolphins forum for Miami Dolphins fans to come here, kick it, have some legitimately, intellectual, in-depth conversation, and we want to keep that going, and we want to stay consistent. So go ahead and smash that like button. Please smash that subscribe button if you have not already. It's always much, much, much appreciated, and it's what got us here today. Now, the other thing, and just the Fins, you're right, man. I got next, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that up there, quite frankly, because I like that comment. You see these comments? I'm gonna highlight them until we get to a point where we need the donations to highlight. We're gonna highlight things on this channel before the season gets started, just because whatever's dope, I'm gonna put up on the screen. But the other interesting thing, which I think a lot of us speculated could happen, was that Skylar Thompson made the 53. He's the 3rd-string quarterback. He's listed as the 3rd-string quarterback. He is going to be a part of the 53-man roster. I think that kind of shoots down anybody who was saying, look, Thompson is all smoke and mirrors, like he's good, but he ain't that good. I'm not saying he's a starting caliber player, but I'm saying this shows that the whispers around the league, because these coaches know what they're doing. Make no mistake. These coaches know what they're doing. These GMs know what they're doing. They don't just make these roster cuts and these practice squad moves in a vacuum. They make these moves and they make these cuts knowing what the rest of the league is thinking, hearing whispers around what might or might not happen. And Clemente, I really appreciate it a lot. And that's why I'm here, man. Fins up all day, every day. Fury fam in the building. We're not going to stop. But they know what's going on when they make these cuts. So the fact that they kept Skylar on the 53 rather than trying to sneak him onto the practice squad tells me that they know and that the league knows that Skylar has some potential, that he has shown out a little bit based on where he was drafted and how young he is. He has showed out enough that they thought it was important to keep him on the 53-man roster. Now, where does that go in the future? The future is, yet to be written. So is he going to be our backup quarterback for the next 10 years? I pray he is, because that means Tua is showing out. And if Tua's showing out and Skylar's the backup, then that's good things for Dolphins fans. So that's what I'm hoping. Is he going to be a starter somewhere? Is he going to be a trade piece? Is he going to start for us if Tua gets hurt, or if he doesn't pan out? We'll see. That remains to be seen. But it was interesting that he made the 53-man roster. And I thought that was interesting. Mike Gesicki, there were rumors he could get traded. I do believe that was a possibility. I do believe the Fins were open and listening to potential trade offers for Mike Gesicki. Nonetheless, he's probably, unless something crazy happens at the 11th hour, which I doubt, Mike Gesicki's going to be playing for us and suiting up for us against the Patriots in 2 weeks. So I'm down with that. I think it's fine. By the way, before I bring Shake on and we start talking, man, what about that game? That little preseason game? Anybody see it? Last weekend, the dress rehearsal, where I was not sure if we were going to get a dress rehearsal. We got a dress rehearsal. Did you see the first drive of that dress rehearsal? Did you see our starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, ball out? Did you see it? I don't want to talk about this. That pass was underthrown. I don't want to hear that. Now, he said it was underthrown because he's not satisfied, which I like to hear. See, that's a contrast. Remember Tua, year one? He still had that, excuse me, he still had that Alabama swag. He was saying it's not that hard. We're winning games. It's not that big of a transition. Nah, we're not seeing that anymore. No, we're seeing from Tua. Now we're saying even when he throws a 50-yard bomb and scores a touchdown on the first drive, even when he does that, he's not happy with it. He can always improve. He can always do better. I like that. That's a new Tua. That's a different Tua. That's a striving to win Tua. But I don't want to hear that pass was underthrown. Yeah, was it absolutely perfect? No, but how many passes in this league are absolutely perfect every time in stride? And by the way, I didn't look at that pass and say it was not in stride. He led him away from the D-backs horizontally across the field, whether it was intentional or not. And Hill kept running. He had to fall a little bit to catch it, but he kept running this way and then around. So I didn't think that was underthrown, that's for sure. And then every pass he threw after that, pretty much, every pass he threw after that was on point, bro. That 13-yarder to Hill right after, the touchdown pass. You know what I'm liking on seeing this offense run? I'm liking the layers of route running that spread the defense out horizontally and vertically down the field. And I'm liking that Tua was throwing that ball into nice windows up over certain routes and into the hands of his guys right in the breadbasket. But for an offensive line snafu where he got sacked on the second drive, we might have seen 3 touchdowns to open the game. Now, I'm pretty excited. That kid looked good. And by the way, guess what? Waddle wasn't playing, yo. Waddle was not playing. So you're getting Hill, and Hill was double covered on that bomb. You're hitting Hill that quickly. You're driving right down the field for a touchdown, a field goal, a touchdown. And Waddle's not even playing. And by the way, Hill wasn't even playing after the first drive. He was playing with backup dudes after the first drive. And Tua was still hitting these dudes. So, I mean, and Mike Hansen, thanks for the comment. Mike says, will haters stop shit talking Tua? I say this. If there are haters out there, they should certainly right now stop shit talking, because if they're shit talking and they're just pure haters, they should refrain from it, because they might eat some crow in a couple weeks. They might want to start reorienting and recalibrating their analysis and their commentary just to stay off the Tua hate for a little bit. But I will say this, because this is an objective channel where we don't jump to conclusions. I think for us to say, look, all the haters and the doubters, and I was even a doubter for some time. For us to say that all the haters, all the doubters, etc., all need to eat crow and all need to recognize that Tua is an elite QB, I think he's got to show us everything he just showed us in that game. And excuse me for 1 second here, having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Want to make sure that this, there we go. So, in order for him to show us that, in order for everybody to just note it and accept that Tua is what he is and he's an upper echelon QB, he's got to show us what he just showed us in that preseason game. He's got to show that consistently in the regular season. Now, does Larry K think that Tua is going to do that? Do I think Tua is going to show out and we are going to see him play like he did in that preseason game? I'll give you my answer right now. My answer is simply, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I think Tua's going to show out this year. Hell yeah, I think Tua's about to show out this year. I think we are going to see a lot more of what we saw in that preseason game. A lot more of what we saw in that preseason game. Because give me a reason why we're not. Philly is not good. I guarantee you Philly ain't going to be good, but at the same time, Tua looks like he's got a good offensive system. He knows the system. He's got good chemistry with these wideouts. And if you I don't care almost who the quarterback is. If you put Waddle and Hill on the field at the same time, and you even think about throwing in Wilson, or you even think about throwing in Mike Gesicki, you even think about a little wrinkle with these running backs and this running back core we have, the top 25 quarterbacks in this league will probably rip you up. And Tua is much better than a top 25. He looks it. Have I had my doubts? Yes. Will I adjust my expectations if he doesn't come out balling against the Pats? Yeah. But as of right now, I think the dude's going to ball out. Now we got DP. He says, I'm a doubter, not a hater. I would love to see Tua ball out. I've just seen too little to make me believe. I want him to make those around him better. I agree. And I haven't seen enough, quite frankly, yet to declare that Tua is this amazing QB. But I have seen something now. In the whole offseason, I hadn't seen anything to say one way or another. And actually, all I had seen the first 2 years was Tua not really show me what I wanted to see. So I would be lying if I said I believed totally in him before, because he hadn't shown me anything. But what have I seen? The last game, I know it was one drive. But couple that with the game 2 games before, when you see the offensive system play out. Couple that with the fact that was the first time we saw Hill playing, and Waddle wasn't even in, and Hill only played one drive. And if you put that in perspective, I have seen something. Have I seen everything I ever need to see in order to declare that Tua is going to be an upper echelon quarterback? No, not yet. But have I seen something that tells me he could be that dude and I expect him to ball out? Yes. That game, the dude looked good. If you're a Dolphins fan right now, and you are a real Dolphins fan, and you are not excited or a little bit encouraged or a lot of bit encouraged by what you saw in that preseason game right now, you better You better check yourself. And I'm not that kind of fan. I don't say that to people. You better check yourself because the dude looks ready to play. He looks ready to ball, man. He looks ready to ball. Now, Just the Fins asked what's my win-loss predictions. I can't give them to you yet because I want to do it the right way. Like, I don't want to just give you a pie-in-the-sky number. I want to sit down, look at the schedule in terms of home and away games, look at the Thursday night games, the bye week, you know, the rest in between games, and give you guys an actual, you know, game-by-game breakdown of my predictions, which I will do, and I'll probably do that this week. I'll probably do that this coming week before the season starts. And you guys will get that video, and it won't be live. I'll give you that video just as an additional little perk of the channel. And by the way, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I know there's a lot of friends of the channel in here already, but, you know. We got Kevin in here, man. Kevin, what's up, bro? Great to see you, bro. As always, great to hear from you. Example, that deep throw to Tyreek off target could be better, but Tyreek made it happen. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to nitpick, you know, that throw, because it's a far throw. How many guys could put it right on the money, you know, in stride? A few guys. But most quarterbacks, if they got a playmaker down the field, they're going to put it somewhere in the vicinity, and they're going to let that playmaker do it, and that's what Tyreek did. I can't fault him. He didn't have to come all the way back for it. He didn't have to, you know, get blown up by a D-back for it. He hit him where he could catch it. It was a positive, huge play. It was a chunk play, so I'm not going to nitpick it. I liked it a lot. So right now, though, I'm going to bring my man Shakes in because you know how we do. And I'm going to put him on. Shakes, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? How you feeling this week? How you feeling in general? You know, you could say how you feeling in life, how you feeling about Miami, whatever, man. How are you feeling, sir?
Let me tell you something. Another day above dirt. I'm good, bro.
I like it, bro. And sometimes that's all you got to just think about when you get up in the morning, is just being another day above ground, bro. So I hear you. I'm with you. Bro, what'd you think? Give me, Shake, this is, you know, kind of give you the floor for a few now. I mean, tell me what you thought of the roster cuts, the, you know, initial kind of depth charts that are floating around out there. Anything you saw that was, like, particularly interesting to you, you know, one way or the other. And then tell me about how you're feeling about that preseason game, bro. Just the floor is yours, man. Let us know what you think, brother.
I'm glad they kept the three quarterbacks, and I wish they would have kept more receivers and cut Clayton Pendulum, and I would say maybe another tight end, like Ethan Carter or something like that. But I understand why they kept everybody. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I really wanted Craycraft to be on the team, or Lynn Bowden Jr., because Lynn Bowden Jr., in my opinion, could be Salvin Ahmed. Even though I like Salvin Ahmed, but he could be a receiver and a running back if you need him to. So I think, and a kick returner. So he has values in three different spots versus Ahmed, which is a good running back. But let's face it, we already got Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert if we want a speedy guy. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'd rather have Kip Len Bowden. But I want to talk about that underthrow. At the end of the day, we're paying Tyreek Hill $30 million to make those catches. So not every you got to remember, when you're throwing, when a quarterback is throwing a football, maybe there's 20 or 30% of those times he's going to get hit while he's throwing those passes, or those passes are going to be ugly. You're going to need a receiver who's going to go out and make the play. So, and that's one thing that we have in Tyreek Hill.
Good point.
We're paying him $30 million to make those plays and to bail us out of that situation. Because again, when you got a defensive end that's almost 300 pounds running a 4.3, you know what I mean, coming for your ass, and he's hitting you while you're throwing the ball, a lot of those passes are going to be ugly.
100%, I agree with that. Now you got a question in here, and I want you to answer the audience here. You got DP. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Kinley, Craycraft. He says why. Explain why those two guys you would have liked to see.
Craycraft. Well, Craycraft is a possession receiver. I liked him. He kind of reminds me of that slot receiver that Julian Edelman, not Julian Edelman, but the guy the receivers coach is. You know what I mean? So
Welker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he fit the system. You know, and not to mention he's sure-handed. That's the good thing I like about him. You know, so he has a quick twitch about him. So that's what I like about Craycraft.
Yeah, a lot of people saying they were sad to see Bowden go. They were sad to see some of these guys go. Eazy-E, I thought, he was going to make the team, so it's hard to, when you start bringing in 3 QBs and, a good amount of tight ends. We got a lot of tight ends. And then, a decent amount of D-backs. It gets tough to keep some of the wideouts. And I think, where we thought we might see a heavy position group with the wideouts, we didn't see because we had to put, we stacked up some other positions, which I think is interesting. I like Sherfield, I thought that, was a good move, but it's interesting to see that the wideouts, we didn't keep so many of them. 4 running backs, a fullback, which really makes it 5 running backs. And then, you got the D-backs and you got, the tight end group. What do you think of the tight end group, keeping that many tight ends?
Well, from what I was told, that Gesicki is technically a receiver, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I actually saw that too, to add to what I said about the wideouts being less. If you add Gesicki in as a wideout, and, I'm just going to show some love here to Scott Jackson. He says what I was about to say, which, Gesicki counts as a 6 wideout. So you kind of have 6 wideouts. And then the tight ends, you kind of have less than you think. What do we have? 5, but you really have 4 or 3. So, I kind of get it when you talk about that. DP's pressing you. He wants to know why Kinley. I said Kinley too, man. I'll tell you why I thought Kinley. Because
I said Kinley. I ain't say Kinley.
So maybe he's asking me. I said Kinley, and I'll say why Kinley, because he looked good his first year. He looked like a mauler in the run blocking, and he seemed like a dude that I could kind of get behind. He fell off the second year. He's out of shape, but I was willing to see where his potential was over somebody like an Iggy. And I'm not trying to knock Jackson because people are saying he's improved, but I didn't see much from him. I'm not saying Kinley's great, but I saw something out of Kinley. I didn't see anything out of Jackson, so that's why I would say that. But I understand Jackson's a starter. Kinley was third on the depth chart. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain or harp about it, but that is what it is. Shake, what's your thoughts on this cornerback room now that we got Byron Jones starting the season on PUP, and we got Iggy still on the team, which I got to be honest, I did not think we were going to see that, but apparently I was wrong.
I knew that was coming, but the thing about the cornerback room is I think that's one of the reasons why they added Flowers and they added more pass rushers. Because if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtains, they never really had any good cornerbacks. It was always their front 7. If you look at the Bears, which ran the 46 defense, it was mostly on pass rush. You know what I mean? So I think they got all these pass rushing guys to kind of offset the lack of cornerbacks they're going to be starting with in the beginning of the season. True.
So maybe, they're going to invest heavily there. Have you seen something or heard something out of Noah Igbenogany that he should stay on it? Is it just because he's got still his rookie's deal and he's just another backup, cornerback? We just don't have anybody better? Because I guess you don't have to cut a guy just to cut him if he's not making a lot of money or anything. But I'm just a little surprised. He didn't look great in preseason to me, and I'm nervous if we're going to play him going into these first couple games. Like you said, we have the pass rush, so hopefully that offsets it. And we have, I think, more offensive firepower now than we have previously. But still, I don't know. I'm curious. I wonder if he's here next year. But I thought he was going to be gone this year, so what do I know?
Apparently, he has the video footage of Ross telling Flores to tank. I think that's why they kept.
It might be it, bro. Maybe that's it. Because I like it. Because I don't know. I have no other explanation. And we got some comments here. We got Mike Hansen worried Gesicki won't fit the system. We've already talked about it. We don't think he will, but he's a playmaker. If you can't move him, you use him. Can't move him, use him until you lose him. So I think they'll do something with him. He'll be involved, and we'll see how that goes. I don't think he fits the system per se, but it doesn't mean he can't make plays this year. DP saying they just want to keep all their first rounders. Scott Jackson, Mahomes had underthrows, but he was biding his time, throwing against his body on most. Never compare that to Tua or you'll look stupid. Dude's built different. Yeah, I agree, and that's what you said, Shake. She said, look, we're paying Hill to make these catches. That's the beauty of it. Tua, put it in the vicinity and don't make a mistake. Let Hill go up and get it. That's what we're paying him for. Let's do it that way. So I agree with all that. How do you feeling about the season and about everything to everybody else after having seen the whole preseason, seeing these roster cuts? What's your general feel for the season?
I feel good, especially considering that we got McDaniel made a 7th round pick, which is unheard of. Look, dude, he was there's footage. He's the best, I think, highest percentage the quarterbacks this preseason. You know, the rookies. He was the preseason MVP or something like that. I was seeing online.
That's
that man, to make him look that good, you know, the scheme has to be really good, because I think Skylar Thompson earned himself a spot on this roster, and I think it's because of scheme had a lot.
I like that point a lot, Shake. I didn't even really think about that, but you're damn right. It's like, not only did Tua look good when we saw him in the limited action we saw him in, but Skylar Thompson, like you know, there's always that debate, and I've addressed it several times in this channel. Always that debate, like, is it the coaching, or did the coach just get lucky with a talented player, or vice versa, or vice versa, or versa vice? The fact is, I haven't even really thought about, hey, Thompson looks really good, but is part of Thompson looking that good the fact that the scheme is so sound? I think that's an excellent point, and I think the scheme definitely has something to do with it. You can see guys getting open. You can see how it seems to be functioning. I think it's a no-brainer that the scheme has something to do with it, so good point. We got another question here, Shake. I'm going to give it to you. How do you feel about Gaskin still hanging around? I already said I like Gaskin. He's got a lot of heart. He plays his ass off. He might not be a starter due to sheer physical ability, but I'm glad he made the team. I think he could be an asset. What do you think, Shake?
Well, when I hear people talk about running backs and people of that position, one thing that comes to mind is I like his pad levels, how he runs with low pad levels and to the ground. And to be honest with you, if you look at the preseason, there was maybe 3, with the exception of Raheem Mostert, there was 2 other long runs, and it was him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think other than Raheem Mostert, he ripped off a couple of good 5 yards, man. I mean, I think Myles Gaskins, I understand that Tua, you know, had a bad situation with a bad O-line and poor coaching, but you know how else did? Myles Gaskin. So I think
right.
Deserved the benefit of the doubt as well. Because if the Dolphins really wanted to cut him, he was a 7th round pick. So there's no real cap ramifications. They're going to cut him before training camp starts. So they had to see something in him that they liked for him to continue being a Dolphin.
Dude, I agree with you. And I'll tell you what I liked. Again, I liked that preseason game. When Miles went in there, he kind of knew it's coming down to a roster spot or what. I'm not the starter anymore, probably not even on the 2 deep, but I was the starting running back for a couple of years. I don't want to lose my spot. And I'm going to show you that I'm tough. And just like you said, the way he runs, shoulder pad low. Dude, we saw him press on, break a couple tackles last week in the preseason game and churn his legs and just look like a baller, man. Look like a kid who plays with heart. And I'm glad he's on the team. I think culture is underrated sometimes in these roster cuts too. Like, they want to build a good room of guys and a good team and a good plane of guys, whether they necessarily see the field all the time or not. So I agree with that. We got Batman Pops over here, and I don't know if this is Batman or if this is guy is saying he's Batman's daddy
Batman
or
Pops,
what.
I see. I'm in a lot of Dolphin chats. He's cool. He's not a big fan of Tua, but he's a cool dude.
Yeah. I'm not even knocking him. I kind of think the name's creative, bro. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out exactly the meaning, connotation behind the name. But I'm just putting his comment up here because he's saying, hey, Tua's final season, he doesn't believe Tua's going to do what we hope and what I think he's going to do. But that's okay. We got different opinions on the channel, and that's how it goes. But listen.
When I'm in other streams, I look for his comments because he does make me laugh every now and then.
I like it. I mean, I'm focusing in Batman. I mean, subscribe if you haven't. And by the way, anybody in here who hasn't subscribed yet to Phin-Addict Fury, man, we just made partner with YouTube. Smash the subscribe button. We got a lot of content coming. Shake, you got anything to shake it up this week for us or what?
I actually, I'll go over 2 quick news stories. That number one, I like to say that the running back from the Commanders who was shot in a battle.
Oh, yes. Sorry, keep going. I forgot about that story. Keep going.
He's out of the hospital and he's back in training camp. So that's good news. I wanted to.
That is great news. Because did anybody hear, now, Shake, tell me if I'm wrong. I heard that he just made the roster, or he was named the starting running back, I heard. Mm-hmm. Goes out somewhere was it in D.C., and he gets run up on by somebody just trying to rob him. He fights them off. He gets shot 3 times in the leg. Is this accurate? This is my rumor mill churning.
Yeah, it is true. But and you know what's crazy is that Sean Taylor got shot in the leg too, but unfortunately it hit his artery, and that's what hit him in.
Right. That's crazy. And by the way, Joe, man, thanks for the congrats. Couldn't have done it without any of you. Couldn't have done it without Shake, without TD, with all these people, man. Finn Nation is a real nation. It's a real group of friends that love their team. So all of us who are on here doing this stuff are kind of doing it for each other. And you know, I'm doing it for you. You're doing it for me. So I appreciate that, Joe. Crypto, what up? And great news. I agree. Shake, that's awesome, dude, that he's back in training camp. So he's practicing, or he's going to be on the – that's crazy. What?
You know, at least he's alive, and he's – even I don't know how long he's going to be out, but it's a good thing that he's back. He's still walking among us.
100%.
And the last thing I want to talk to you about is how we got Alabama. You know how everybody's saying we got Alabama tour? Do we have Oklahoma Baker Mayfield? Because apparently he sent out a tweet saying that he's going to fuck up his new team.
Yo, I saw that. Did you see that? There's some shit talking, some trash talking going on with Baker, man.
And you know what? Baker Mayfield plays better when he has an edge to him.
Yes, he does. So that's an interesting story too. I did see that too. And it's, you know what? Some of these quarterback controversies in general around the league, Shake, I think are going to be interesting to watch play out. Because there's a lot of different quarterbacks who made moves. The AFC's stacked, and there's all these kind of quarterback controversies that occurred in the offseason. You know, that it's going to be interesting for sure to see how that all plays out, and I'm kind of excited about it. But you know what? Interesting news on the Baker Mayfield thing, Shake, and really just brilliant news on the Commanders story. I mean, it's just thank God he's walking amongst us, and thank God, you know, he's back, and you know, however long he's out, it doesn't matter. He's got his life. He's still got his career, it looks like, and he's going to play. So that's just absolutely great to hear. FM, what up? Great to hear from you, FM. And by the way, everybody, two little news notes. First of all, Greg can't make it tonight. He's at work, but he's in the chat. I saw him a couple times, so you know, we miss him tonight, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And look, I just dropped the link, so if you want to join the panel tonight, it's right in there. Phin-Addict Fury, you can see I posted that link, that StreamYard link, man. Go ahead and smash that. Come join me and Shake, and let's talk. Let's talk Dolphins. Let's talk about the season. Let's talk in general. And the last bit of news is actually tonight. So we're going to be doing a different collabs around the content world. And tonight, over on the Finn's Tailgate channel, I'm going to be, you know, starting a new show with some of these content creators that are out here called the Miami Dolphins Debate. And that'll be either every Wednesday at 9 or maybe, you know, every other Wednesday, but we're working on that too. So we're not done tonight when we're here. I'm going to go over there, and I hope all you guys will join me. What we're going to do is rotate channels so we can kind of really diversify this thing and kind of show everybody love and kind of get all the fans interacting with each other even better. So that's another piece of news for tonight. And in the meantime, let me just add these two cats right here. Cat, my man, a day one. What up, Cat?
What's going on, fellas?
Kicking it, man. Kicking it. How you feeling about what we talked about so far? I mean, the roster. How you feeling about the preseason game? How you feeling about the depth chart? How you feeling about Tua? I mean, how you just feeling, Cap?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Una pregunta.
Once in a while, man, Cap's got to answer a call, but we got you do this, man. Reno's on the line. So what's up, man? We'll get back to Cap when he gets back on. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, my bad, guys. My bad.
Cap, you're back. All right, Reno, we'll get to you in a second. Cap, what's up, man? Tell us.
No, not much, man. Just had a delivery guy over here that was lost, so I had to guide him on his way.
Got you. Okay. That's you're doing community service while you're on the panel, and I appreciate that too. I respect that too, Cap.
Multitasking, man. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Man. But yeah, man. No, well, you guys pretty much hit it, man. Like Shake was talking about too, about the Craycraft situation, us keeping 5, but you know, we also kept 5 tight ends, so maybe that might fluctuate throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, besides that, just the amount of secondary that guys that are getting banged up right now is concerning to me. You know, with the amount of weeks we got left until week 1.
Yes.
But Yeah, I mean, we pretty much, like all of us that have been catching up with this roster, we pretty much knew that this was going to be the play and the guys on the team. So yeah, we welcome the 53, man.
Yeah,
Time to put
yeah.
up, bro.
Time to put up, bro. It's 2022 Miami Dolphins season, and we are all hyped. FM, man. Thanks. That's what we're trying to do on this channel. That's all we ever do in this fan base. So that's what we up to. You do this, man. What's up? Speak to me. How you feeling about everything?
Hey, what's up? How you guys?
I'm good. I mean, I'm doing great. Shake's above ground. I'm chilling. I'm in a good mood. I mean, it's Wednesday, hump day. We are on the show, so I'm good, man. I'm good.
So we got a roster, guys. We got a roster. I think it's a really good roster.
I like it a lot.
Couple surprises, I think. I think Kinley had the world working against him because if he didn't make it based on how he performed in preseason, I don't think they were ever going to really give him a shot. Maybe if he lost some weight, maybe he could, come back. But he did really well when he got in those games. And we only kept 8 linemen. And McDaniel said in his press conference that that's too little. He wants another one. So the fact that they didn't keep him after all that, man, I don't think he ever really had a shot. Maybe
have to agree.
I hope he loses some weight because if he lost like 25 pounds, he'd be really, really good and he'd be able to fit in the system.
Yeah, what's funny is I actually looked at like his rookie picture and it looked like he gained maybe 25 pounds since he's been here. So maybe that was part of it too, when these coaches are doing evals. But keep going.
Let's see. We only kept 5 wide receivers. We all knew that either Lynn Bowden Jr. or Craig Kraft one of them was gonna have to get cut, battling for the last spot, and then both of them end up getting cut. So that's surprising. I don't think anyone really expected that. 5 tight ends again. I didn't like it last year when they did it. I thought that was stupid. I thought it was unnecessary. But they really like that Tanner Conner kid. They didn't want to put him on IR and have him out for the season. They want him to get in there at some point this year. So I think that's super interesting.
Right.
We're going to see Tanner Conner play. There's no way that, they would not put him on IR if they weren't planning on having him play.
You're right.
And they had to keep Steven Carter as that backup fullback in case Ingle gets hurt again.
Yes.
I mean, how good did the offense look out there, though? And not even with all great pieces. It looked awesome. I mean, everyone should be hyped. Everyone should be.
That's
so
what
excited.
I am. Yeah.
Look, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Don't get me wrong, man. But we've seen this before in preseason. Well, at least I did when I was out there, and the hype that's being displayed right now throughout the preseason as well. All I'm saying is just temper expectations, man. Because the Eagles had at least more than 25 guys out, and we had like maybe 11. Even though I wanted to see that game, I wanted to see that curtain call game. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. I got to see it week 1, man. I got to see it week 1.
I'll explain the difference. The offensive line. The problem in the past is the offensive line, once we got to the season, always regressed and got worse. And it was never even close to what we'd see in preseason. This year, it has a chance at being decent. And if they can just be decent, everything else falls into place. If they underperform expectations, then
I don't know, man. That excuse has been for 15, 16 years, and I'm gonna counter back by saying I think it's the quarterback more than the amount of offensive linemen we've had coming back and forth.
Offensive line, 100%
so 18 quarterbacks leading up to 21 quarterbacks since 2000, since Jay Fiedler. That doesn't make a difference either. You notice?
Tannehill took
quarterback.
Tannehill takes the Titans to the playoffs every year. No problem. He won first seed last year with a good offensive line and a run.
No, I'm asking you about this team. I'm not talking about Tannehill with the Titans.
Hold on. So let me moderate.
The issue is the quarterback.
So hold on. Let me moderate this a little bit because I like this discussion. And Bleezy, by the way, I see you, bro. I'm gonna get you in here. I saw you on the grill, and I respect and appreciate that, sir.
All good.
I know you over there. I know you over there, Bleezy, just turning stuff, man. Keep grilling. We about to get to you in a second. So Cap's saying though, quarterback plays into it too. If I were weighing it, I'd say the line is very important, and I think the line is going to be improved. I think that's a big key. But I also think I agree with Cap that the quarterback is a big piece too. Like they both have to be at an optimal level, and it's not one or the other. Are you saying that the line is really the most pivotal thing all the time you do this, or are you just saying that you believe so much in Tua that this particular team, the line is the issue?
No, the line is always the most important because a great offensive line can make a decent quarterback look good and a decent running back look good. A bad offensive line can make great quarterbacks look bad and great running backs look bad.
Okay, look,
Go
I
ahead.
give you
The
that.
most
You
important
notice.
thing
I give you
on
that, man. But come on,
the
man. Look,
offensive
Tennessee,
line.
that was one game we
Hold
should have
on,
won.
Hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on.
wait. Tennessee was one game we should have won, and the
Hold
offensive
on.
line played
Can I
great up
say
to that point.
something?
So
Please,
hold
please
on,
don't
hold
do
on.
that.
Hold
Please
on a
don't do
second.
that.
Hold on a second, because let me weigh in real quick too, and then I'll give it to you again, Cap. Hold
I
on.
like to weigh in when you gotta get a chance.
Yeah. And all right, I'm gonna say something, then Shake, and then I'm gonna turn it back over to Cap. All right. So, and then you dudes can respond. What I'm saying is, when you look at, it was an interesting point. I don't agree that a bad line can make great quarterbacks look bad. I think great quarterbacks still shuffle around and make things happen. They still keep their heads above water. I do think a bad offensive line can make a good quarterback look bad. And I do think a great offensive line can make a decent quarterback look good. I think that's Ryan Tannehill, because Tannehill still didn't come through when he needed to in the playoffs. But yes, he did get first seed. He did get them to be serious contenders in a good seed with a good offensive line and a great running game. Totally agree with that, 100%. But he didn't get over the hump. And yes, I'm not going to touch on Cap's game with Tennessee because we already know that, and he can talk about it. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm going to go to Shake, and don't worry, you do this. You'll be able to respond to him. I'm going to get Bleezy in on this too if he wants to talk. Shake, go ahead.
I would say good O-line is 50% of the equation. But the one point is, if you look at the Super Bowl with Kansas City and Buccaneers, what gave Buccaneers the edge is they were missing 2 key offensive linemen. So that kind of played into the Buccaneers' hands. But another thing that I would like to say is, remember what I was talking to you about preseason, what I liked was the scheme. At the end of the day, you could have an all-star offensive lineman and a good quarterback, but if the play calling is predictable and the defense knows what you're going to do, it doesn't make a difference. If you're predictable, and that's what that gives me faith, is that hopefully this offensive staff doesn't call plays that are predictable. Because think about this. Last year when we had Gesicki on the field, teams knew, okay, they were passing. As soon as we took out Gesicki, we're running. So they were becoming a lot predictable depending on the personnel that they were using last year. Hopefully we don't do the same mistake. I think our offensive line is an important piece, but it's not the end-all be-all, in my opinion.
And I'll say this before I turn it to Cap again to respond, just because I'm brainstorming. When I said, what I said about the O-line, I will say that everything in football, despite how much the game has evolved over the past 100 years, everything still comes down to the trenches. So the O-line and the D-line, but the O-line is very, very damn important. I still believe everything starts in the trenches.
On the O-line.
Yeah, I will say that's just because that's the sheer momentum of the initial inertia that occurs on every play is from the O-line. I will say that. And then I think the other thing I was going to say is we could say it's this, it's that, it's the predictability of the plays. Let's be real. It's everything. It's a complex game. It's the play call. It's the chess match between the coaches. Right. It's the trenches. It's the quarterback. It's the wideouts getting separation.
But the point, hold on. But I never got to finish my point. My overall point was that if the O-line this year is decent, my prediction is this.
We've been saying that for 20 years, bro.
Wait, but it never got to decent except
the
for 2 years.
The O-line played decent on that 7-game winning streak last year, buddy.
Why do you keep interrupting me?
Because he asked me for my take. You interrupted me.
No.
All right, so hold on. So finish your point, and then Cap's coming because I know Cap has a lot to say. So finish the point, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Cap for a minute.
The O-line excuse is so old, man.
Yeah. So what? So
not an excuse.
You're saying,
hold on. This is it.
Yeah, okay.
Everything on offense comes down to the O-line. If you don't think that, you don't know football.
We were one game from the playoff. That's not on the O-line. That was on the quarterback. 3 interceptions in the snow. Couldn't play in cold weather. Don't give me that, bro.
That is true.
Wait. Hold on. What about
Cap is right on that.
What about the Atlanta game?
He just doesn't want to hear it. Udotis knows, bro. Me and him go at it. He just doesn't want to hear it.
What happened in the Atlanta game and the Jacksonville games?
Your boy didn't come through. Don't blame the O-line on that.
He didn't leave the field with the lead in the Atlanta game. He didn't leave the field with the tie game.
That's because we were playing catch up. I'm not getting back into this with you, man. You just want to go down a highway I don't want to go, man.
So hold on, because I think Cap's hold on. You can bring up games in this and game to that, but I think it's interesting. If the O-line was the most important, then how come it's the defense that dropped the ball in those other games? I'm just playing devil's advocate and getting in the weeds on this.
No, because we're bringing up different points. My point is on offense. Everything is dependent on the offensive line. That's it. If the offensive line this year is decent, then this is a great offense. That's my overall point.
Right. I hear you. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm not
But-
making any other claims more than that. If the offensive line this year is decent, this is a great offense. If it's bad,
That's
things
not.
can go
That's
bad.
not really going out on a stretch. I mean, we had the
Right.
worst offensive line in the league last year, did we not?
Right.
Right.
And right. That's my point. That's exactly my
so-
point. And look at how we did. That's my
It's
point.
been like that for almost 15 years. How are we going to counteract that? Is what I'm saying. Because we
That's why
can't be
we
blaming
hired
the O-line
McDaniel.
forever.
That's why we hired McDaniel. I
fix
mean, that's
the
what
line.
I think.
That's
I'm
the point.
expecting him to try to come in here and play some smash mouth. That's why we have,
Yes.
11 tight ends.
I agree with you, Bleezy, and I think also the O-line's better. I think the O-line coach is better. I think the O-line is going to be better.
yeah.
But, Cap, let me ask you this. Do you think the O-line is going to be better, and do you think it's enough to get us over the hump?
Like Bleezy said, like the O-line is important. Don't get me wrong, but a fullback helps. A tight end that can
Hell
block
yeah.
help.
Hell yeah,
We're not
you're right.
talking about
Yeah,
that though.
the fullback.
I love
forward to
fullbacks.
that.
Can we just be happy that the fullback's back as Dolphins fans with Larry friggin' Zonk in the Hall of Fame?
Hell yeah.
Can we just
right.
be happy about? I love fullbacks, bro. I love seeing a lead blocker going when it's a short yardage situation. I'm sick of like these shotgun snaps with a single back trying to get a first down. Like, let's go in with the fullback. Let's go. But good point, Cap. I agree with you. Like, there's other elements to why we're gonna make the run game better. But I guess what you're saying is, I'll believe it when I see it because we've seen this show before where we look good in preseason. We've heard of the hype. And B, unless Tua shows out, you're not willing to say that just because the O-line is good, we're going to be great. You want to still see Tua play a certain level, or you still have doubts?
We've been saying it all season and all off season.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't wait till this happens because this is the year. This is the year. This is going to happen because we have everything. His injuries passed. This is the year we're supposed to do it because the amount of players we signed. Now all of a sudden it's like everybody's getting, cold feet and they're backing off the diving board here. And it's just like, well, either we're in the playoffs or we're not. Like, you guys got to make it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you can't have it both ways and say that the kid's going to be great, but then say, oh, no, we're not going to make the Super Bowl because you know what's going to happen next year. You know exactly what's going to happen next year. If we don't make to the Super Bowl, I mean, playoffs is fine, but Super Bowl is what we want.
Wait, I'm confused. I totally don't understand what your point is. 100%
What part don't you understand that a Super Bowl is important? I don't think that's that hard to defice.
Wait, so you do this. Let me ask you this.
Wait,
Let me ask you this.
What did the diving board thing have to do getting cold feet? I don't understand.
Because the majority of the fan base, let me ask you this. Do you think we're going to go to the Super Bowl?
I think we have the potential to, yeah.
No, answer the question.
Oh, wow.
I think we can, yeah.
Okay, so you're in the majority because a lot of people are like, oh, well, 8-9, 9-8, and maybe one first round, and then we're bounced out. And if that's the case, then what are we doing here? Because Tua's not going to have the opportunity to stay here next year if we don't make it past the third round or get first seed. Let's be real here.
No, that's
No,
not true.
I think-
that's
I
not
think if-
true. That's crazy.
I think.
How is that crazy? He's been here almost 4 years. You want the Tannehill 7-year
the
plan?
only way you think the only way Tua stays after this year is if we make the Super Bowl?
Of course. If he doesn't have a
That's
year where he
insanity.
has
That's
37
absolutely
touchdowns
insanity.
and 9 interceptions,
I'm sorry,
Udotis,
that's
of
insane.
course.
That's insane.
I think if we make the playoffs and Tua plays well, we're in a
That's it.
tough
It's all we
conference in a
need.
tough division. I think it's all about him playing well. I don't think the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
I agree with that. But
Yeah.
if we stink it up, if we don't even get to the first,
yeah.
There's a
But
huge difference between making the Super Bowl and stinking it up.
Well, one thing I'll say
Okay,
too
but
is
you
real
understand
quick.
the difference, though, right? Udotis? You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
There's
right?
a humongous difference between making the
Okay,
Super Bowl
as long as you
and
understand what I'm saying.
I think he understands. I think what he's saying is he actually believes that Tua's gonna ball out and we're gonna play well and we're gonna be really good. I do know what you're talking about, Cap. I've seen people like this where they're already hedging their bets, kind of like, well, I'm not sure about this or that, so I'm building in an excuse. And I'll let him speak for himself. I don't think he's saying. I think he expects Tua to play well this year because he says the O-line's improved. I think so.
But hold on, I'm also of the opinion he played well last year. I don't think he was bad last year. I think he was
Yeah,
good
that's
last
your
year.
opinion.
I don't think he was
Yeah,
great,
I don't-
but I think he was
That's
good.
your opinion.
That I don't really agree with. I think he was. I don't think he was terrible,
Wait,
but I don't
hold
think he was
on,
good.
hold on. Let's go through this. Let's go through this. Worst
Let's
offensive
not.
line in the league. Worst running game in the league. Every single coach on that offensive staff is now a level lower than they were last year.
Yeah, but so take
And
that out and
the
look at
worst
his actual
separation in the
throws, though.
But they're still on the roster.
What do you mean? How do you
For- forget
defense
that.
you didn't like
Determined.
is still on the roster. The coaches
How
on the
can you take that
defensive
off
side are
Mr.
still on the roster.
just take-
You didn't
take
like
all
those
that-
coaches.
How do you
They're still
throw
on the
that all
roster.
out? That's the
Hold
offense.
on, though. No, what I'm saying is this: Are you saying he statistically performed well, or he performed well because he couldn't have possibly statistically performed well because the offense around him was bad? Because I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about him in his play when he had to make a throw, or he had to make a decision, or he had to make a read. I wasn't impressed. I'm not talking about his overall stats because the offense struggled. So which one are you talking about? Which one are you saying?
I think people are underestimating how well he actually did given the circumstances. I don't think he was perfect. I don't even think he was great.
That was the defense. Don't play yourself. That was the defense.
Throws. I think there were times he messed up, but overall, if you look at his season as a whole, he was good given the circumstances.
Yeah, the defense was great too.
Yeah, so what he's saying,
second half of the season, we started 1-7 because the defense
it's
sucked.
all right.
My bad.
It's all right.
We're gonna be in a merry-go-round, bro.
No, it's fine. I'm the back and forth is fine anyway. We're having a discussion. It's good for the channel. It's good for the viewership, bro. It's all good. Don't have to apologize at all. I'm just interjecting. So, like, I guess you're saying that he was good despite the circumstances. I'm just saying no matter what the circumstances, he didn't quite impress me. And I think these are better circumstances, and I think he's probably going to get better this year. That's my prediction. Just so we're all clear and kind of where we are.
One would think. What was impressive about what he did last year.
I don't know about that.
All those things, he won games. He made really good throws. I mean, if you look at
individual stats, red zone completions, no touchdowns, buddy.
So good.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. All those stats, no touchdowns.
Nah,
come on,
I
man.
can't. I gotta be. I mean, come on.
And then I think he had like over 20 plus his running touchdowns.
Yeah, but you could put any scrub third-string quarterback behind an NFL team. He's gonna have some good throws, make some good decisions. But like,
not some, a lot.
Really? Which game? Because I went back and watched a lot of games, and the defense was pretty much carrying the team, and Tua was okay at best. It wasn't like
Carolina.
Which one?
The Jets game, the Giants game.
We were losing
Giants
that game. That was the defense. I was at that game. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh god.
Jets game was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Jets
Except
game
he threw that one boneheaded interception, but he came right back and scored a touchdown the next drive. Yeah.
The one in Miami was just one?
He threw 2 interceptions in that game, but the real bad one was the pick
Thank you.
But what does that mean? People throw interceptions. Like, can you come back from that? Can you then lead a touchdown drive? I mean, in the Atlanta game, he was really good. Yeah, he had
all right, let me ask you this too.
Interceptions, but he was good other than that. He had good throws.
Give me great, man. Give me great.
Let me ask you this.
His draft class was great. Give me great.
Tennessee game, I understand you can't hang everything on one game. You can't, because he had good games. You're right. The Jets game in New York, in Jersey, I was there. He played good. I understand. But the Tennessee game, like, so that's the end of the season. That is like put up or shut up. We can make the playoffs. Forget the defense or anything. There were throws in that game. He clearly missed. He did not have a good performance. How does that figure, if at all, into your analysis about, like, despite the circumstances, he excelled? In that game, he had decent circumstances. He didn't excel.
He did
or do we just say
because the whole entire team came in trash that game? All of them. Who played well? I think it was like Raekwon Davis was the only one. They ran it down our throats on defense because Landon Roberts and Jerome Baker aren't run stuffers. And then on offense, we ran the ball. We had success on the ground, and they stopped calling run plays because you know what they were doing? They were only playing nickel, and they realized we couldn't run on their nickel. So then when they finally stopped our run and we had to throw the ball, they already had all their DBs out on the field.
So the running game was good then. If the running game was good, why didn't Tua perform better?
The interceptions?
This is what
happened. No, that's why I'm asking, though. Because
running game was good because they were playing nickel. They weren't playing with the extra linebacker. They were playing with the extra DB. Then they were able to stop it. So we'd get a nice big run, but then the next play we'd get like 2 yards and be 2nd and 8, and we'd have to throw it. That was the problem. And instead of going back to the run, they were able to stop it. And then when it would be 3rd and long, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8.
So basically, you're saying the run was working, but when Tua had to do it, when Tua had to step, he was bad. All right, but I'm just.
But it's like you guys are only putting it on him, and then you ignore everything else.
No, I'm putting no. That's not what's happening. See, that's you're mischaracterizing that. That's not what's happening. We're not putting it on him. I'm saying I'm not looking at anything else except what he controls, and I wasn't impressed. That's what I'm saying. Well, we could disagree on that.
It's impossible to do that. It's impossible.
It's not impossible. Of course,
it's possible when you don't make the playoffs. You don't.
Hold on. Did you think Austin Jackson played well last year?
No, he was awful.
All right, but you can analyze his specific play despite what everybody around him is doing. You can do that. You can go to any organization anytime and say, yeah, this organization sucks, and the guy makes his job harder. But you can still analyze the things that were within his control and make a determination as to whether or not those specific instances were good or bad. You can do that,
but only in the context of the broader team.
Yes, I understand that, but still, yeah.
So it's really simplistic to say, okay, I'm looking at Tua and taking everything else out and saying he was bad at that game.
No, I'm saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
we just gave you facts. You don't like the facts you're hearing. That's your problem.
I'm saying this specific throw was bad. That's what the stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
But if you but then it's the implication you go on there and do. That's what I get frustrated with. Yeah, he was bad that one game. That's not the same as saying he was bad all season or he wasn't impressive all season. He had really impressive moments throughout last season. He had really good moments throughout last season. And when you take in the context of the rest of the team, I think it's fair to say he had a good season. Not great, not amazing, but good.
There goes that word context. Oh, God.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't think it was a bad season. I just don't think it was a great season. But, Shake, go ahead and talk because you've been sitting on the sideline for a while.
Sorry, Shake, man. Sorry.
Listen, here's the thing about when we talk about the Tennessee game, we said everybody plays bad. And guess what? Tua is part of that everybody.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Jesse Davis, I can tell you there's probably some good blocks that Jesse Davis had, but nobody highlights that. There's some good runs that Myles Gaskin had, but nobody highlights that. So at the end of the day, everybody is going to have good and bad. And I agree with you. I think Tua did pretty well considering the circumstances. In my opinion, a good team doesn't determine a good quarterback or a bad quarterback. It just helps with his overall team success. You know what I mean? A good quarterback and a bad team is still a good quarterback, in my opinion.
Right. But we can say that quarterback's success on the football team is the most dependent position. They are most dependent on the rest of the team.
And vice versa.
No. By definition,
Randy Moss isn't going to succeed with Josh Rosen. Randy Moss didn't succeed when he had the guy that Oakland drafted. Remember?
Right.
So a running back doesn't succeed without a good old line.
I'm not saying nobody's dependent. I'm saying the most dependent position is the quarterback position. They are most dependent that the line's going to block, that the wide receivers are going to run good routes, that they're going to catch the ball, that the run backs are going to pick up their assignments. All that stuff matters when it comes to the quarterback. There's no
and the O-line is dependent on the quarterback from calling protections and changing the lines and IDing the mic. So it's all in one thing. It's not. I don't think one position is more dependent.
He just finished saying that the O-line was the most important thing, and now he's saying that the quarterback is the most reliable position. Like you can't have it both ways, dude.
Dependent.
No, he's saying that the O-line's the most important and the quarterback depends on everybody the most. I don't know if I agree. I mean, I think everybody depends on everybody else, he's saying, because the quarterback has so many things coming at him. But same thing for the wideout, though. The wideout's got to have the line block long enough for him to run his route. He's got to get, the quarterback to put it in a place where he's breaking to get him there. And he's got to call the right, make the right read. It's all kind of interesting, to be honest with you, whether the quarterback is the most dependent player on the field or not. And whether the whole team depends on the quarterback quite a bit, too, like Shake is saying. That's just an interesting conversation. I don't really even pick a side on it. It's just an interesting conversation.
I can tell you Michael Dieter is most reliable. I mean,
no, reliable is not the same as dependent. They're two different words.
All right. So by the way, we have Kevin on here. Kevin, you with us, my bro? Like what do you got to say, sir? Welcome to the stream, bro. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I'm kind of in the middle of moving and stuff. I just wanted to drop a quick point real quick because I'm hearing all this. It's like the O-line, it's the defense, it's the quarterback. The reality is we won 7 straight against the worst.
He cut
it out, brother.
You cut out, Kev.
Yeah, your mic's cutting out.
No, I can't hear him. Because I liked he was making an interesting point. I wanted to hear it here.
And me too.
But I guess we'll get back to that. You guys done with your little? So final word. Cap left? I guess Cap signed off. We got Greg. Greg is here. Greg, you been listening to the show?
I only listened to like the beginning when you were on.
Oh man, there's been a lot going on here, sir. There's been fireworks in this place.
Yeah, probably gonna rewatch it later tonight.
Yeah. It's been a good show.
Yep.
But I'm waiting on Kevin here. But what's your Greg? Tell me about your thoughts on the preseason game, the roster cuts. We're gonna rewind a little bit and tell me about your overall. Do you think the O-line is going to be improved? Do you think Tua is going to be improved because of it? What's your outlook for the season?
I let me tell you something. When Tua threw that ball to Tyreek, I was jumping up and down, going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really rooting for Tua, man. I like I said probably before, I was upset when we drafted him, and I've been nothing but ever since we drafted him. I've been rooting for the kid, and I hope he does good this year. With the O-line, I think the O-line has improved, because keep in mind, Farrell Armstead's not out there. I think the O-line will improve. I'm just worried about the run game. That's about it, because outside of that preseason game, I haven't really seen the run game get going. But yeah.
Right. I think the preseason game, it looked pretty good, but yeah, we don't know how good Philly is and whatnot, and it hadn't looked great before then.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that.
One thing to keep in mind is we haven't had Alec Ingold in there at all during the preseason.
Very true. That changes it up a little bit,
do you
too.
hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you. Can you hear us now? You ready?
Yeah, my internet was acting weird.
All right, so finish your point that you were making. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying is there's a lot of the O-line is at fault, the O-line's not at fault, QB's at fault, QB's not at fault. What I think is reality is we beat 7 teams that are probably the worst teams the NFL had to offer. We lost 7 straight as well. And, I mean, really, the only maybe good team I can say we beat last year was Baltimore, and look at where they finished. They weren't really that good either. I don't think we really had, as a whole, an actual good team to begin with.
Baltimore finished that low because Lamar Jackson ended up getting hurt. He played in the game we played against them. Carolina had the best team defense in the league, and before that, we had lost to Jacksonville and Atlanta, who were 2 of the worst teams in the league. So it's wrong to say that the team obviously did not get better second half of the season. We beat teams that we otherwise wouldn't have beat.
Right, but again, you're breaking it down unit by unit. I'm saying as a whole team, we didn't have a good team. We had a good defense. Our offense was crap. Our special teams didn't play like the year before.
I think by the end of the year, you could call us a decent team. I don't think we were great, but I think because of how good our defense was, you maybe could call us a good team.
I could say that. And Kevin, I would ask you this, because we were having this debate just now. I mean, do you think the team being not that good, how much of that do you put on the quarterback? How much of that do you put on coaching? How much of that do you put on the O-line? Which aspects need to improve? Do you expect them to improve this year? Because that kind of is the discussion we just had.
Honestly, I put a lot more than most people on coaching, and I think a lot of that improves this year. I put a lot on the O-line, which also improves because the coaching staff we have, almost all of them have been hands-on with O-line on the past. I think we're in for a surprisingly good year this year, but I don't think we were really that good last year.
Okay, makes sense. And apparently my mic is low, so I don't know what the problem is. I've turned the input all the way up at this point, so it's just got to be, yeah. So D-Rod saying I'm coming in very, very low. So I don't know if anybody else can hear that. I'm trying to work the volume, but he's saying it, so whatever. We're trying to work on that just so you guys hear it. So now it's just open.
New England last game of the year. That's all. I mean, they made the playoffs. They were playing for the division in that game, and we beat them. Good. Right. We beat them pretty bad.
No, I agree. So, and by the way, I think we were a decent team by the end of the year, and I also think we'll be improved this year in a lot of ways, and I think Tua is going to be very much improved, and I'm excited to see it. What I'll say here, too, is, it's an open floor at this point. I mean, anybody have any other topics you think we should bring up and discuss this week?
I'm more worried about the defense than the offense, if you want to be honest.
Interesting.
Byron Jones going to be out the first 4 weeks.
That's going to be
Is Josh Boyer going to be able to keep the same amount of success that we had with Brian Flores here? We're going to see if he had how much input he had, how much a part of it he was compared to how much Flo was. the linebacking core still scares me. We don't have a run stuffer. If teams can take what they did in that Tennessee game and do that to us, we're going to be in trouble. So I'm really worried about the defense.
Yeah, and
I don't
I have
think
to
we
agree
have
with
a true middle linebacker either.
Don't have a true no, but I do think Roberts. I do think they're serviceable. Are they? Baker, are they the best? No, but are they serviceable with the rest of our defensive personnel? That is pretty good. I think yes, but I agree. I mean, it's a concern. I agree, and I think the biggest concern for me is the Byron Jones thing. I mean, we've seen when he was out in years past, and we threw Igbenogany in there and whatnot, and it did not go over very well.
That's a good question. I don't think Noah's who they would put in. Is that who you think they're going to put in?
Not necessarily. No, I hope not. But
I really hope not. That would be so
right. And I don't know if it's like, gonna be like Rowe is gonna slide down, or if they're gonna, I think Needham's still in the slot, so I don't think he would take that spot. I agree. I actually think I'm more worried about the defense too. I think you're right.
Well, in my opinion, I'm not worried about the defense. Because to be honest with you, they're working with a new offense. I don't think they're gonna, Matt Patricia's the play caller. I'm not saying he's a bad play caller because I never seen him call plays before. But at the end of the day, it's a formulated new offense going against a defense that's been together for 3 years, and vice versa. Our offense is brand new, and we're going against a Bill Belichick's defense. That's the only consistent thing that's on New England is their defense. So at the end of the day, our offense going against their defense. I know we have all these weapons, but at the end of the day, when you're going against a coach that plays chess and not checkers, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get your plays off, especially a first year.
I would agree with you. The only reason I don't is because we saw what happened to the defense last year in the first 8 weeks, and that scares me. Like, that's ruined my whole perception of them. If they didn't regress so hard after that New England game last year, then I would be with you. But it worries me that that's going to happen again.
Well, yeah, because of they're playing zone. But at the end of the day, the reason why the defense kind of regressed a little bit is because you got to remember they were on the field most of the game. Hopefully, if this offense improves, the defense is going to have enough time to rest and get their, not be sucking wind at the end of the fourth quarter. So that's what gives me a little bit of hope.
Remember, that is a valid point. There were games where they were on the field way too much, but I also remember games where the whole game they didn't look right. The Colts game, the Raiders game, the Bills, that first Bills game. I remember they just didn't look right those games. Like, they weren't the same kind of defense. And if you remember, we couldn't get much pressure with our front four. And I think that's why we added guys like Melvin Ingram and Trey Flowers now. That's why we had to start blitzing so much, and that left us vulnerable, like you saw in the Titans game. So if our front four can improve, and hopefully Jalen Phillips is as good as they're saying he is now, that would be a huge help.
I would love it.
He's not going to be like he did in the first few games, going back in coverage like he did, just stick to chasing the quarterback.
Well, even as a pass rusher, he wasn't very polished. I don't know if I would say he didn't have too much success most of the year. He had like a 4-game stretch, like where he was really good.
But if you remember his first few games, they had him dropping back in coverage. It wasn't until the winning streak where he was just strictly handing the dirt, chasing the quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you go watch him, even in those games where he was just chasing quarterbacks, watch him try to get off blocks. Like, he wasn't really, like, they were setting it up for him to get back there. He wasn't really winning one-on-one. Like, if you remember that sack he had against the Giants, that it was a coverage sack, he was kind of stuck on the block for like 4 seconds, and then he finally threw the guy off and got to him. My point is, I hope he has improved as much as they say he has.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah. And I think this look, I don't know. I hope I don't eat crow, but I think this offense is going to be efficient, man. I think we're going to see this offense play pretty damn well, man. I think it's going to be fun.
Larry, I missed the first part of the show. Did you have any surprises from the roster that you said?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I thought Gaskin and Ahmed making it. I wasn't surprised at Gaskin. I was a little surprised it was Gaskin Ahmed just because Ahmed especially was lower on the depth chart last year with the squad we had, but I'm happy about it. I thought it was good. I was surprised at Iggy. I said it. I guess I shouldn't be because I think he's still on his rookie deal, but I was surprised that he's still on the team. I really was. I thought it was time to cut bait with him. And I obviously I talked about the wide receivers, how they were the lower end group, but then people brought up how Gesicki kind of is the 6, receiver anyway, and then how many tight ends I thought we had. I agreed with you. I said it was interesting that we had so many. And, it was weird. But I don't know that I had so many surprises. The Skylar Thompson thing, I did think he would probably be retained as a third-string quarterback, so that didn't totally surprise me.
Any of those guys we let go that you would want to see us keep?
Well, I wanted to keep. Honestly, I thought Kindley still had something in him. I was disappointed that he kind of, didn't make the final push and make it on. I thought he was a mauler his first year in run blocking, and then he kind of regressed. I would have liked to see him on the team. Easy E, I held down the receiver spot, so I wasn't really surprised with the cuts there. Bowden, I thought, had a shot to make it. I like Bowden, but, I think he's a good, reliable receiver, good hands. He seems to always find the soft spot and get open, but at the end of the day, I get why they had to cut from the wide receiver group, and he wasn't higher up on the totem pole. So while I like those guys, I think I wasn't necessarily surprised or overly sad that they got cut.
Did you see who we brought back to the practice squad yet?
I took a glance at it, and now I don't even really remember who was on it.
I don't think.
I think we signed some
Bowden news. I've been looking for Bowden news. I haven't heard anything.
I didn't see his name. It looked like we signed maybe a couple guys from other teams too that got cut, but I don't think we filled it out yet though either. I thought it was only at 8 or something.
Yeah. There's still more guys. We got that super speedy guy from Carolina. He was the fastest guy in the draft.
Well, that's good. I like stashing him too. I saw Hill's going to be the punt returner. Makes sense. I forget who the kick returner was listed on the depth chat. I don't love it because I hate ever putting a starter as ever a specialist, but some guys just do that and it keeps them in the rhythm and it keeps them. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. They're not going to kick to him most of the time, I would think. I mean, I think maybe it's more of a deterrent than anything else. He's out there. They kick it out of bounds. They try to place it, close to the end line. I don't know. We'll see. If he gets hurt, I'm gonna hate it.
He's so competitive, so he's gonna push it.
That's what I'm at.
Shake, what'd you say?
I'm happy. Secondary White and Cameron Good are on the practice squad. So able to get them back.
So that's good. Greg, you have any surprises or anything that you saw on the roster?
I thought Craycraft and Good were both going to make the roster.
Yeah.
Craycraft and who?
Craycraft and Good, the linebacker from the 7th round.
Yeah. I agree.
Cow guy.
I thought the same exact thing as you.
Yeah, and Shake was saying he thought he wanted to see Craycraft too. But I did too, but I like Sherfield, and I think just tough decisions had to be made is really it with this 53, Just tough decisions had to be made.
I didn't think the Trey Flowers move was necessary. I would have rather kept Hodge or Gustin or Good. I don't know why they brought him in.
I wasn't that huge on that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that move at all. The young, hungry guy is much preferable to me than the guy heading into his journeyman years.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll see if we get another step up from him maybe later in the season if we really need him, if he turns it on. But I agree with you on that move. Shake, were you saying something?
6 out of all the teams in the NFL whose players got poached, Jets got 6 players from their team poached from their picked up off of waiver wires. That's the most out of anybody.
Scary because maybe the Jets have some good players, and I think they do.
They don't have no one. They got all under the roster guys. Screw the Jets. I am not scared.
I mean, I hate them, but
I'm not scared of the Patriots and I'm not scared of the Jets. I don't care what they say, how good they think they are. Not scared.
No, I'm not scared of either of them. I'm curious to see how that. Yeah, I also think we sweep the Jets, but that's just I think it could be recent bias. I have a feeling at one of these years those games are going to get competitive again. I hope it's not this year, but we'll see. Because if it's this year, our schedule is hard enough, bro.
Yeah.
And they are always competitive just because division games are tough. But we always somehow put out against the Jets. I was super surprised we swept the Pats last year. I want to keep that going. I have an ego thing about it. I do not want to lose to the Patriots or the Jets.
Yeah.
No, me either. Trust me, I don't.
that matter. But
Can we just split with the Bills this year at least?
Let's
Yeah.
split
I'm
with Bills.
I'm sick of getting blown out by them.
What happened?
Oh, well,
Sick of getting blown out by the Bills.
Yeah, me too. The damn Bills. Like, stop it. Like, you're really pissing me off.
Yeah.
that's the worst thing about losing Byron is we don't have him for the Bills game, and the Bills game is in Miami.
I don't.
Yes.
I think in that Bills game, I don't know if you guys remember this. Last year up in Buffalo, Josh Allen, the a-hole he is, was waving bye-bye right in front of Christian Wilkins' face. I
Yeah.
think Christian Wilkins that's gonna be his big game right there.
I hope
Well,
Remember
so.
that. He's gonna
He
remember
was probably
that.
talking so much crap that game. That's why he did that. Christian
Probably,
Wilkins
yeah, because
closed his
Christian,
mouth.
yes. That's also true. That's also probably 100%
He's really
true.
funny. He's like that. He's that guy you love on your team, but you'd hate him on other teams.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that is a good point. And Phil, what's up, man? You're getting in late. We're happy to have you regardless. Yeah, the Jets. Someday they're going to be better, but like I'm just worried about like I want to try to sweep them again. I really want to split with the Bills, man. Like let's, especially in Miami. I don't know. Let's do something. But without Jones, that's a great point. That's what I'm scared of. Like, are we going to get burned on the outside without Jones? You know, against the Bills. It's happened over and over and over again.
Yeah.
hey,
You know,
Everybody
all I have
talks
to do is
about-
pick on that spot.
right?
everybody talks about how Omar Kelly called Tua weird or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian Wilkins thinks he's a Power Ranger, but you know what? The dude is the life of the party. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Gronkowski, that's another weird dude, but you know what? He's a football star, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Gronk is
No, I
actually really
agree.
funny if you watch him.
They're funny dudes, and you know you could be a weirdo and still be a good player. And now you got Scott saying, you know, the end of the year in Buffalo is going to be cold, it's going to be hard.
I didn't know why everyone
so-
freaked out about that Omar said that. I didn't think that was a big deal. He thinks. I mean,
Me either.
Everyone's a bit of a weirdo. It's not
Yeah.
like a. He's just,
I didn't
he
think it
just
was an
tends to
insult.
Shy and yeah, I don't. It didn't come off as an insult to me.
Me either.
I
Agreed.
don't know. People made such a big deal that it's not a big deal. It's not. I think
Right.
that's all he meant. He just keeps to himself most of the time. He's shyer, but this year his personality is coming out. Everyone's saying so.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's I'm happy about that, and it seems like there's more confidence. It seems like there's more swag. It seems like there's more cohesiveness. And remember, if you're talking about weird people, our head coach is weird, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way. So
Yeah,
like,
I love it, and I love
yeah.
it.
So maybe the team's just weirding out, and it just feels more comfortable, and maybe that's a good fit. And we can only hope, and I think I kind of see some of that.
Yeah, 100%. If you're being weird, it means most likely you're being yourself, and that's the
Yes.
most important thing. Be yourself.
Yes.
Be genuine. Those are when the best things will happen for you. If you're
100.
gonna, try to be that cool guy, those are the actual weirdest people. You know, the people
Yes.
who aren't secure in their own self.
Yes, I agree with you 150%. And by the way, that's a good note to go out on because we're at about 8:23. But remember, we're not done. If you want to go to the Fins tailgate, I'll be on there tonight at 9 doing the Miami Dolphins debate. We're going to see how that goes. Everybody's welcome to come on over there. Check that out, too. If you haven't smashed subscribe, smash subscribe. If you haven't smashed like, smash like. We are going to do some videos this week for win-loss predictions. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7. Last words, everybody. We'll go clockwise. Shake, you first.
I think this is going to be a good season. Hopefully, there's always going to be no matter what part of the world we are, but let's just unite for about 5 minutes so we can celebrate this Patriots.
Hell yeah. You do this. Your last words.
Sorry, Larry. Did you say you were going to be on another panel later?
Yeah, so at 9, if you go to the Fins Tailgate channel, we're doing the Miami Dolphins debate, which is a panel we're going to try to do every with some of the other decent-sized creators. We're going to try to do it every Wednesday at 9 or every other Wednesday at 9. So at 9 o'clock, go to the Fins Tailgate. I'll be on a panel with a bunch of other guys. And we're going to rotate whose channel it's on every week. So it'll be on this channel one week, too. So at 9, tune into it. I'll
All right,
post.
Larry.
I will. I actually just found that channel like last week.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be on there.
If you're on with Paul, tell him fullbacks are the best. He's another fullback guy.
Paul
right,
loves
cool.
fullbacks.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah, no, I'm all about
Guys,
the fullbacks.
Get
So.
excited. Get excited. We are going to have so much fun this season. I'll wait till next week to do the prediction because I'm sure we'll have a show next week and I'll be here. But
Yes.
enjoy this week, guys, because just do all the research you can. Look into it. Just soak in all that Miami Dolphins stuff because this is going to be a great season.
Hell yeah. All right, I love it, brother. I'll talk to you next week. Greg, Final
Yo.
thoughts.
Yeah, man. Be good.
It's go time, man. It's go time. It's time for us to put up or shut up now. I just hope Waddle and the boys can all get healthy for week 1. We got some college football this weekend. I can't wait for it.
Yes, sir.
And it's go time.
Yes, sir. All right, I love it, Greg. I'll be in Boston for the BC Rutgers game, man. I'm excited about college football, too.
Yeah.
Everybody, join me at 9 over on the Fins Tailgate. I'll be on a panel tonight. Join me at 9, and then I'll see you next week at 7. But watch out for some videos before then, man. I'm going to be out here on these videos before then doing some win-loss predictions and some other content. So, see you guys all very soon. Later. And have a good night.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best.